This is the testing section of my game. As you can see, when I land, my character's going to jump in the tunnels, which is just tests for my gravity system in my game. I had to create trigger boxes for basically to make it work on the X, Y, and Z axis. You can see my player goes into a slightly slanted hallway, which I didn't use because it wouldn't work with my gravity system. In this main hallway, you can see my character going down. I put some instructions for the door. There's a checkpoint on the left, and there's a pin code on the right. As you can see, when I click enter, if I do the wrong code, it gives me a incorrect password, and then if I do the right code, it says correct password in green. This will open the door, and the player can enter. In this next little small room, you can see I was experimenting with some of how the hallways would look, maybe with more glass to show space, and to show like environmental hints almost for door codes. As you could see, there was the code on the laptop there. I put it on the wall as well, just so I can remember, but you can see my player putting in the code. As you can see when my player comes outside, I showcase some of the assets that I used in my main project, such as walls and floors and doors. This is the starting area of my game, where I blocked off the right side with a bit of environmental clutter to force the player to go around to the left to that yellow panel which explains what the player can do in this level, such as movements and what to look out for. Once the player goes around, I had a look outside, just nice scenery, and you go up to the pin door code, which it said on the instructions. And if you have a read through, it just basically says that there can only be four digits inputted into it, the code. And there was a small hint that said that the code for this door was the name of the ship, which is the star 1920. So the code is 1920. As you can see, when my player goes up to the checkpoint, they get it, and they realize they can't go that way, so they go left. Which this is another hint on what they need to collect to eventually survive, because the O2 tank is going on the right. I have a look at the map, which says the door code, and it has one of those 1 out of 5 collectible items. So my character runs around. I go around to the right, see that it's blocked. So then I go back around to the left and use my gravity system to not get killed by the death zone. Remembering the password is 6600, I use it to open this door, which eventually leads into the flight deck. And there's another one of these yellow panels, like info panels almost. So I collect the collectible item, read the code on the door, and then I keep traversing the world. You can see me demonstrating the wall running. There's a checkpoint there that I grab. I go down here. I realize I've got to use the gravity to not die on the death zones. There's mostly hints above the door. I did this so that players they would not be confused when they're going up to an area. And it's kind of a hint to where the codes are. In this area, I pick up one of the collectibles, and then I find the glowing code inside of one of the box, which is in another door in the area, but I just thought I'd look at it now, so I don't have to come back here, so I can make this video a little bit shorter. So my character's running back, avoiding the death trigger boxes. My player has an option here to go left through this scary area. I could go up and right for a little shortcut, but I thought that I'd just show the way that most players would go. This door wants the amount of souls on board, which is a sign behind that says 1,600. So they go in. Most of the rooms as well have like what type of room they are. Like this is a communication bay, which is the price of a standard class meal, which I don't know that yet, so I keep going down this hallway. I have a look at the scenery. And then this door is the price of a star class meal, which I also don't know yet. So my character keeps exploring. Now this is another environmental hint that if I go left, I'll probably just die because I can't really use the gravity system there. So I go up and round and squeeze through the little hole. This is the door that I was on about before. That bit, the code in that box. This area was basically meant to make the player go back and then come back here, but I just looked at it so I could save time. I get another checkpoint before going through this area in case I die. And this is the cafeteria area. There's a lot of numbers on the board, but you've got to remember that I needed a standard class meal, which is $11.99, and the star class meal, which is $19.99. So now I go back to that area that I was just in, that I needed the codes for. Avoiding the death boxes. And now I have the code for this room, since I just looked at it in the cafeteria. And I go down this hallway and see the rest of the spaceship outside the window. Have a look at the info panel, which tells me a code which I don't actually know the door for yet, but I'll keep that in back of my mind so I remember. And get the checkpoint before I go through this area in case I die again. Which I did. And try that again. I have a checkpoint which isn't too far. Then I have the code for this door. Another checkpoint which is nice. And then I can't just walk down this one, I have to use the gravity system again. Which then leads me to another collectible. And then I can't go back the short way because the door's broken, so I'll have to go all the way back around. And there's only really one more place to go with that code which I learned, which I seem to have forgotten in the video, so I go back and have a look at it again. And my O2 tank is nearly out, so I've got to be quick here. Once again, I don't go under that way because it's certain death, so I go over the top, go around here, and then I'm eventually at the last door, which is the captain's quarter. And it says code is the Earth comms code, so that was 8012. So I go in here, and then I collect the final collectible item, which makes it 5 out of 5. And then I run back to the O2 section of the ship, and then eventually my character is saved.